Okay, I'm going to go ahead real quick and pop some of these out. Just so you can see, this one, remember, we colored with just, a little bit of acrylic paint. Pop her out real quick. So if you can see she's pretty little fairy in a swing set. And that was tinted with acrylic paint. Same with this one. It was tinted with a little bit more acrylic paint. You can kind of see the difference. On this one I actually put quite a bit extra in there. There's a little spot that didn't fill, but that's okay. Kind of cool. Not too bad. So she's very opaque. This one is not. This one was just a little bit put in there, and this one was, a little bit bigger amount. Alright, this one, these wings, which I love, were painted. I painted the mold itself with fingernail polish. So see, it just absorbs into the resin, or the resin picks it up, or whatever you want to say. So it's on, I can trim that off, it's not a big deal. So my wing has the paint, sort of just kind of, it sucks it up in there. I'll show it on something white, make it easier to see. Let's see. This is not very white, but kind of can see how they are. Alright. Those thin ones need to kind of left flat because they will bend. So, okay, now this one, again, painted the mold with fingernail polish, glittery fingernail polish. And this is what we got from that. And again, these are soap molds. And I just put a little bit in there. So it's kind of pretty. It's pretty thin here in these spots. But like say if we put it, I'm not necessarily putting it on this one, but say if we put it on this one, you kind of can see the effect that you get. Okay. Now these are my... let's see. This one here was colored. I rubbed powder, the mica powders into the mold, and not mixed in the resin. So let's see. It took it out of there. So if you look, it's kind of cool. It's just on the outside. Well, it kind of did suck up on the inside, but that's the effect you get when you rub the mica powders in the mold, silicone mold. And then I'm just gonna do one of these, I guess, or two. These guys were, we put the little bit of that sparkly paint that was on here into the mold, or not into the mold, but into the resin. So that colored all these. And it's been about 12 hours, I guess, since I did it. This one's going to stick a little more than it usually does. But I've used this one so much that, when the resin cures, it gets hot. So after a while, it starts to create an issue. And I don't want to stretch her because she may not be, she's not completely cured to be... she may still bend a little bit because she's not cured solid. It takes a few days to do that, but if she bends, I'll just push her back. See how it's still kind of flexible at this point. You can actually trim it with your scissors at this, before it cures all the way too. This better not booger up because I'm gonna have to order a new one of these because this is my favorite mold that I use all the time. I guess I could have sprayed it. Oh, here we go. There she goes. Here she goes. I may have to start spraying this mold with a little bit of silicone because it's very, it's beginning to get porous, I guess. Oh. Or wait till she cures longer. Okay, so I got it. Alright, so here, I know it did kind of curl her up a little bit, but all you have to do when that happens, so she came out good. All you have to do is flatten it out. But they do have a tendency, these molds over time, If you can see how it's turned white, it's becoming a little more porous from the heat, but that's all right. She's probably got a few more blobs in her. Same with these cute little shells that I'm gonna just, cute little, that's probably like a sponge, but I probably won't use it. But there's a little pretty little shell. Whatever that is, I don't know. There's another little shell. There's some fun little, bits and pieces that you can add to these, which is what I do basically. And this, I didn't put any more in it. It's just a little, it was some leftovers, so it's really not though I probably could still use it. Maybe make it look, I don't know. Anyway, it's fine. So that's this step. And the next step will be, to figure out what backgrounds I'm going to attach them to and go ahead and show how I attach them to that. So, quick recap. That's mica powder rubbed in the mold, fingernail polish painted in the mold, the mold or the resin colored with acrylic paint. This is also the resin colored with acrylic paint, and this is also resin colored with acrylic paint. It's actually with this camo pink. Cameo pink. So, anyway, there you go. And we'll continue on in a little bit. Okay, guys, I cleaned my mess up. So now I can get on to doing a little bit of the covering things with resin. This was the one that I made the error on and just kind of dabbed it on. I'm just going to stick, they're stuck, but they're not stuck. They are sticking because the resin is not quite cured. So it goes ahead and it sticks, which is good because you don't have to glue it down. Let's put it that way. Same with this one. I actually wasn't going to put the turtle on this guy, but he was stuck, and when I tried to pull him off, he wanted to pull some paint off, so I went ahead and left him. And this was that one that was that puddle pour, and my cart's a little funky, so I have to level it some. So that one's ready. I decided to put the wings on this piece here that already has a coat of resin on it, and it's already got a bunch of bumbles, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to have to file it anyway, sand it anyway, so... this was a wood piece. I decided to stick this one on here. It's got a little piece of some blue. Let me get the blue off there. Hold on before I put that back on there. Something blue under it. I probably picked it up. Okay. So I'm just going to sit that on there. See, and I got that piece of blue. Whatever that was. Okay, get off there. Alright, I'm going to stick it back on here. Kind of even it up a little bit. I just eyeball these because they don't need to be perfect. So, alright, that ought to be good enough. And see, they kind of they stick well enough that when I pour resin over them, it really doesn't make a difference. They'll stay. And I was not sure with this one. I mean, I'd already talked about using this one on the corner, which I'm going to do. I have this pretty pink one though that kind of goes, but I probably am not going to use her. I'm probably going to save her for something else. This is the one I made yesterday where I just used the acrylic paint in it. So, but I think I'm going to do this on this corner, and then after she cures, go back and put something on here, paint some lettering or find something interesting to put on there. Maybe do something on print it on a piece of paper, have a laser jet printer so I can maybe Mod Podge something to that and then resin over it again, what have you. The options are pretty much unlimited, especially when you have a laser jet printer. So that's kind of where we're at, and I cleaned this big mess up because I'm going to make up some resin and go ahead and pour over these, and this shouldn't take very long to get this done. So again, like we normally do, I'm going to move these over to the side, And I'm going to go over here and get my resin out. I'm going to get some gloves on. I always use gloves with resin. I don't like it on my skin. It's too hard to get off. You can get it off with either alcohol or acetone, but it's just, I just assume not. So I don't mess with it. And I was going to find another, or I don't know, I kind of wanted a third one there, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it right like it is. And if I so choose later, I can always make some more of these and with some other colors maybe and put them on there. I was looking through old ones I already had made up, see if I had anything that might be fun to put on there. This one's a pretty color. I may go ahead and stick that one. It's the same one though. I think I will. Let me stick that. It's kind of dark though. Maybe will this one come down? I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably go ahead and stick her on there. See, I have a red one, but I'm not fond of this shell. It comes from another thing, and so, I mean, it would be kind of fun for a pop of color, but this will be my first layer on these, and I may go back and play with these a little bit, but not right now. So, I'm going to get my little measuring cups out, because like we've said before, with resin, you must make sure that you have the correct amount, proportions. That's just the way it works. And for somebody like me who doesn't like to make anything in proportion, it's or who experiments with everything, it's so hard to be a conformist. That's not true. All right, let me get my stuff. So I'm going to do like I did last night, probably make the same amount, but it may not be enough, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I'm going to make 8 ounces. So I'm going to use 2 cups this time. So there is 4 ounces of hardener. Okay. And like I said before, even though this appears yellow, it's just over time it does that, and it's really not, it's not going to affect anything. I have a cat in here knocking a cup over. Oh my goodness. I've just been talking away. I don't know how much of this thing recorded. It just shut off. I did the whole thing, how you mix it up, which I'll do another one, I guess, and stick it in there. Basically, I poured all these with the resin, and then happened to realize that my camera had shut off. Very frustrating. I'm at the point now where I'm going to go ahead and torch these to get the bubbles out. I'm going to go re-look and see what I've done, and depending on what it is, I will do another little bit of, the process. So basically, I'm going to go here and pop all my bubbles that I've got on here, then let this sit up. I'm going to let it sit because I may have a few more bubbles come out, and I'm going to review the video and see what I got, what it didn't get. Very frustrating. Oh my goodness. But you see this finished product. If it did not, my process to get to this point was kind of let out. I'll go ahead and kind of revamp it and stick it in there, or stick it after this, or what have you. Because obviously I'm going to wait till these dry and pick them up and show them to you. So I guess that's it for right this moment. Be back shortly. Okay, this is the tail end. I'm not going to go back and show you how I mixed up resin because I did it in an earlier video. Alright, this is now all, look, and stuck to my paper. That's okay. Use this paper. Okay, so this is pretty much cured completely. Got our little mermaid stuck on there. Pretty cool. I may put another coat on this. Actually, I probably will put another coat on this of the resin just to, make sure there's no flaws, and if there's, which it really looks okay, but we'll see after it cures, so I may do something to it. Alright, this one I actually have really falling in love with. I love how this came out. I love the way the colors came out. I don't mind. That's that little piece I had extra that I added on there. I can see where the little turtle may need a little more resin over him just to shine him up, but came out really nice. It's pretty much cured all the way. You can touch it. It's not going to leave fingerprints unless like you mash on it. But hopefully you can see. It's not too crazy with the drips that I'll have to take care of, but it came out. It's really sweet. And I could probably mount that maybe in a frame, maybe with a purple background. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure. A lot of these just go and I sit them on those little easels. You know, so we'll see when it comes time. And then here's my little let's stuck on there a little bit. Here's my little wings. Now, for sure, this is going to need another coat because this piece, this one, and this piece, I used them for that demonstration where there was silicone on the piece, and we mixed silicone into the resin. So, because there's silicone in this resin, this resin without silicone left some spots where it didn't stick, which is okay. I'll just mix a little resin in and we'll fix it. It's not that big of a deal. Really doesn't stop it from being pretty, and the only way you can really tell it is if you turn it sideways and look at it. But there is like a spot missing here, so. But that came out kind of cool. And that's the one that I painted in the you know, with a little bit of gold paint, fingernail polish in the mold. This one here, same thing. It had some silicone on it, so it's got a spot where it didn't really adhere real well. So I may go back and put another coat over it. She actually came out kind of cute on there. That's the one. I also painted the glittery fingernail polish and tinted the resin ever so slightly with the little bit of pink. So she's pretty cute. She came out real well. And this is the last one, and there again it's the same thing, but this one I'm going to put another coat on because I'm going to put some kind of Grimm's fairy tale thing or something. I'm going to do something here to finish it off because I put her in this little corner. But I love how sweet she is, and she's all sparkly. I don't remember how I made her before, but she's all sparkly resin pink. I'm sure I probably used fingernail polish. Anyway, but you can see on this one where some of it didn't stick, and again that's because I had probably could have done it thicker, but it's also because I had silicone in the previous resin. So I think that probably demonstrated pretty good. I may have missed a few things because my recorder or my camera shut off a couple of times, which didn't make me very happy. But see, I think we can do something with this. But all in all, it's not hard to do. It's a lot of fun. You know, initially you got to order some molds, or you can make the molds. You can look on YouTube and there's different ways you can make those silicone molds. I just never have. I just order what I get to looking, and whatever I like I order. But I was doing that for coasters as well, so I have these big round ones that I use to make coasters or colored discs, whatever, which I've done in the past. All this is several different colors of paint mixed in with resin, and then just, you know, kind of like a dirty pour, but actually just in it. I just poured it in it. So it's pretty versatile what you can do with the resin, and you don't have to get specific paints to color it. The only specific resin paint that I have is the white, because a lot of times I've noticed that if you use acrylic paint, it has a tendency to yellow. Alright, well that's it. I hope you enjoyed all three, and I'm going to see if I can't come up with something else fun to do for us in our next video. And y'all take it easy, and look for our next August pouring challenge. We're going to have one coming up, just like the one we did in July. And don't forget that you're more than welcome to join us on any of these challenges, please. And use the hashtag for the challenge so we're able to find you. And y'all have a good day. Thanks. Bye.